All right, so let's talk 2.2, number 12. So, um, I'm trying to solve this initial value problem. Okay? How do I go about doing that? What do I need here?
Separate variables.
Yeah, let's separate some variables. So I'm going to subtract x times y squared plus y, the other side. So I'm going to have y prime is minus x times y squared plus y. Then what?
Divide the y term.
Okay. We're going to multiply by 1 over y times y plus 1. So I'm going to get 1 over y times y plus 1 dy dx is minus x. And then what?
Integrate.
Good. I'm going to toss a dx over there, and then I'm going to integrate. Oops. Okay. So right-hand side, I end up with x squared over minus x squared over 2 plus a constant. What do you get on the other side?
That's PFD.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap. I have to do partial fraction decomposition again. Okay.
Actually, I don't think you have to.
Why not?
You can do a really screwy trick with the denominator of that fraction to get it into a form where you can do u sub on it.
How?
Really?
Okay, this is going to be kind of weird. I did this
Alright.
problem a little while ago. This is problem 12, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to do this, or do you want to go ahead and do PFD, and I'll explain my method afterwards?
No, I want to friggin' learn. Let's do
Okay.
it. What am I doing?
So you have that fraction on the bottom, y times y plus 1. If you factor the y back into that, it's 1 over y squared plus y, right?
Yes.
So factor a y squared out of that. Great. Now, what's the derivative of 1 plus 1 over y?
Ethan, that is deeply fucked. I love the way your brain works.
Wow.
Okay. All right, hang on. I was skeptical. Oh, that's not the right color. Whatever. Okay, good. So then you're going to make the u substitution.
Yep.
Oops. U is 1 plus 1 over y.
Yep.
And then du is minus y to the minus 2 dy.
Mm-hmm.
That is hilarious.
So then you can sub that in to
All
the
right,
original.
so hang on. So I have minus x squared over 2 plus a constant over there. And then that and that with a minus sign. Oh, I guess I forgot a squiggle there. Okay, so I believe now that I should have a minus the integral of 1 over u du.
Yep.
I love that.
For reference, I checked this on an integral calculator, and it does work.
Well, I mean, we just checked it. It works. That's beautiful.
I love your
All
comment.
right.
It's like, that is so deeply fucked. It works.
Awful. All right. So then we apply some Calc 2, and we end up with minus the natural log of 1 plus 1 over y is minus x squared over 2 plus c. Right? Yeah.
Looks right to me.
Okay. Now we flip the signs on both sides and exponentiate. So I end up with 1 plus 1 over y is e to the x squared over 2 times a. Whoops. And I guess I have an absolute value on that side. Everybody good?
Yep.
Okay. So then I need to hit both sides with a plus or minus. So I have 1 plus 1 over y is e to the x squared over 2 times a. I'm assuming a isn't 0, I guess. That's probably good. Let's see. So then I think I get 1 over y is e to the x squared over 2 times a minus 1. And then I need to pull a flippy majig to both sides. So I think I get y is 1 over e to the x squared over 2 times a minus 1. Wild. Okay, cool. Now what? Am I done? I'm just going to sit here and dance with myself until one of y'all answers this question.
Can we see the directions?
Sorry, I was talking this whole time and I was muted. I said,
What do you want to see
no,
the
that's-
directions for, Jordan?
That's,
yeah. Okay, you want to see the direction. They say solve the IVP.
Oh, there
I
is
might
one.
notice that I have a y of 2 equals 1, right? Okay, so I'm supposed to use that information here. So I'm going to take this thing, and I need y of 2 to equal 1. So 1 is supposed to be 1 over, let's see, that's e. What's 2 squared over 2?
2.
Good. Times a minus 1. Okay, so aside from some weird algebra, this shouldn't be too bad. So I need to multiply both sides by ae squared minus 1. So I got ae squared minus 1 equals 1. So ae squared is 2. So a is 2 over e squared. Seems real weird. Okay. Well, if we plug that back in, we get y is 1 over 2e to the x squared over 2 over e squared minus 1, which is a weird ass fraction, but whatevs.
Okay. So
So,
except for a lost minus sign, I pretty much had the same thing.
okay.
And this kind of goes back to the book having not super good answers because it looks completely different. I'm sure you could probably finagle this to look like that. but-
I've had a couple like that. Like there were a couple of with really strange fractional stuff that I think is effectively the same, but
Yeah, I'm sure you could manipulate this to make it look like that, but it seems
Okay.
overkill.
So this is what I'm looking at in the answer book. That's what you were looking at?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I have a sneaking suspicion that this is correct. But if I want to check, you have two options. You guys with me on that? Option 1. try algebra.
Mhm.
I find that I personally am not that good at algebra. Right? It is still actually kind of hard for me to keep track of all of the little bits and bobs. I expect that it's probably hard for you all too. Is that correct? I also have a finite amount of give a shit in my life. You all find that you have a finite amount of kind of energy to devote to problems like this?
Absolutely.
Really, all you want to know is if your answer matches the one in the back of the book, right? So, one way you could do that is you could manipulate the algebra and maybe get there if you don't make an error in the process. Another way you can do this is just toss both these functions into a grapher and see if they overlap.
Yeah. Okay.
I would personally recommend towards tossing both in GeoGebra or something and see if they overlap.
The nice thing about doing these ordinary differential equations is you can use Desmos again, which I missed.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you want to use Desmos, that's fine. If you want to use Wolfram Alpha, that's also fine. Like, another way you can do it is if you don't want to plot them both because you're not sure they'll appear on the same screen, is you can just plot the difference. Like, take the answer, subtract your y.
Hmm.
So just plot thing 1 minus thing 2.
It should be 0.
Right? If it's ever not 0, you screwed up. You guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you will find that the whatever graduate student was compiling answers for the back of this textbook was pretty friggin' slick with fractions. And so that person had a tendency to do weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is not what I would have described as a standard form. But it is relatively common in here that they're in slightly less than standard forms. Mostly, I think they're put into forms that are relatively easy to typeset.
Yeah.
So you'll
yeah, there's a few. This one is definitely, I think, the most standout of like completely different looking.
Mhm.
The other ones I can look at and then like do some algebra in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, those will come out to the same thing. But this one was completely different.
Yeah, I think these are the same enough that I'm not worried about it.
Yeah,
But if you want to fiddle around with it, feel free.
I'm good.
All right. Let's see. So, all right, let's do this.